Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of James Bond Bitcoin Live, uh, 00147, hashtag Korea, because apparently Korea is at the center of a lot of things that are happening in this space right now for some reason. Anyways, let's go over the note section here real quick and see what today's show is about. Let me see here. Bond trading view. I'm going to go over the bond trading view as always. If I have it up here, maybe I do, maybe I don't. Let me see. Anyways, let's see what I have. And so I have a list of top 58 coins and tokens compared to Bitcoin percentage and all-time high flagged for shorts. There's a link to it right there. If you want to check it out, I'll briefly go over that. I'm not going to go over too much. Let's go over the meat of the show today of the live stream is the first article I'll go over is how neo-Nazis and right-wing extremists profit from Bitcoin. Interesting story. That's coming from Business Insider. And then next is North Carolina temporarily shuts down the BitConnect scheme. So this is another state that doesn't want BitConnect to be involved, or probably very similar, wants BitConnect to register for offering basically securities. And then next after that is U.S. Marshals plan to auction 52 million-ish. I don't know what it is now. Price kind of goes up and down, but $52 million worth of seized Bitcoin. So I'll talk a little bit about that. Every time the U.S. Marshals start selling Bitcoin, what I've noticed is that the price of Bitcoin tends to go down. So I don't know if there is a direct correlation or causation. If it's correlated, caused, or if that is the cause. But since 2013 and the seizures of Silk Road and Silk Road 2.0 and other subsequent seizures of Bitcoin, I've also noticed that the price also declines, which may be good because it's an opportunity to get some cheap Bitcoins. Because if the U.S. government, U.S. Marshals, whoever, actually held on to those Bitcoins from 2013 and before, they would be billionaires with the B, billionaires. The 30,000 Bitcoins from Silk Road seizure, billion. They would be worth billions. So, something I just learned from the past, what I noticed, that's all I'm saying. Last in the notes section for the story I'll be talking about today is Milwaukee Bitcoin. Let me see if I'm still, yeah, okay, I'm still going live here. Milwaukee Bitcoin transaction ends in gunshot and a felony charge. Man, there's a lot going on today. I mean, the meme I'm showing you right now, it's really a loaded meme. I don't even have any words for this. The symbols in here are pretty powerful enough. It is a loaded meme or a loaded picture, however you want to see it. But anyways, let's go over to the next section here. I partitioned off in the notes section. Check out the notes section. A lot of good information there. And all the links to what I'm going to be talking about today too as well. Coinspectator, real-time cryptocurrency news aggregator. CryptoPanic is a news aggregator platform indicating impact on price and market for traders and cryptocurrency enthusiasts. Let's quickly just go over there real quick. I'm going to go over Coinspectator and then CryptoPanic. Let's see what is running in the headlines right now as we speak, so we could get the sentiment. I mean, the news really gives you the sentiment of what's going on. It may also even influence behavior. There is some social behavior with news. After all, it's another form of social engineering. So let's take a look here. I'm going to refresh Coinspectator.com. Let's see what's going on here today. Right now, let me see here. Official. No cryptocurrency trading ban in South Korea, government says. This is 12 minutes ago, coming from Cointelegraph. There's definitely some conflicting information. Now, whether there really is a ban or there really is not a ban, the point is that there is some, definitely there's some oversight and scrutiny going on in South Korea, and most likely in China, or there already has been. So, I mean, just the news alone has sent the price down. And, you know, it's not like the government of Korea has any Bitcoin to sell on these exchanges. So, you know, who's selling Bitcoin? Well, people who have Bitcoin on those exchanges. And what are they feeling? What are they trying to say? They're trying to say this is not overall maybe good news, or maybe there's some panic, of fear. But the point is, the price doesn't lie. Okay, the price doesn't lie. There's something going on with the price that indicates something to this. Here's another one. Chinese Bitcoin miners eyes sites in energy-rich Canada. This comes from Reuters 23 minutes ago. So if there is no ban on mining in China, you got to ask yourself, why are these reports coming out? All right. I can't really say there's some conspiracy in these news feeds that are coming in. You kind of have to kind of look at them case by case. But overall, if you just look at them, I mean, there's something going on. And if you ignore these, you know, information, if you ignore this information, you're just setting you're just setting yourself up to be blindsided. Let's see here. Settles blockchain fund record-keeping platform Eisnes goes live. This is coming from econotimes.com. I don't even know what this is, so I'm just going to completely ignore it. A Wall Street consultancy eviscerated crypto in a massive report, and it should strike fear into the hearts of every. This caught my eye. This is coming from ukbusinessinsider.com. I'll actually check it out. Let's read some of this stuff here. And this is coming from Coinspectator.com. I read some of it already. I'll read parts of it. Fool's Gold, unearthing the world of cryptocurrency. I'm reading some quotes in which they outlined a case for Bitcoin dropping to 1,800 by December 2018. You want me to read the whole? I'll read the whole paragraph here. A Wall Street consultancy is predicting a massive crash in the cryptocurrency market this year. Quillen and Associates put out a report Thursday, which is today, actually. Will be Friday soon. But put out a report Thursday titled Fool's Gold, Unearthing the World of Cryptocurrency, in which they outlined a case for Bitcoin dropping to $1,800 by December 2018. The 156-page report argues that Bitcoin's current price, near 14,000, is far above what it is worth as both as an investment akin to gold and payment mechanism. It's very interesting what they talk about. They even actually compare it as an investment and a store of value, and the results they came up with seem to value Bitcoin as an investment at $2,161, and as a store of value, only $687. So this is quite disturbing report. Maybe it's a little scare tactic, more fear, but considering that these news feeds, consultancies will influence the market, because eventually this report will get in the hands of other people and they'll read it. So keep that in mind when you know, we can't all be like up on Bitcoin all the time, considering its massive rise. So you have to consider there might be some pullback, if there's a pullback, and maybe even consider, all right, maybe even consider the price deflating. Let me read something else here. Let me see. Okay, so the firm predicts a major Bitcoin correction to 1,800 that'll also drag the cryptocurrency market down to 70% to 223 billion later this year from its current position above 700 billion. So quite a prediction or assessment. Let me see. I'll read the ending of this. Despite fulfilling most of the characteristics of a traditional fiat currency, cryptocurrencies are largely being utilized as speculative investment assets, leading to considerable volatility in their value, said Benjamin Quillen, Chief Executive and Managing Partner, in a statement shared with Business Insider. Ironically, they also mentioned here, I haven't read the full article, I'm just reading from Coinspectator.com. They got a little short synopsis. That they feel, however, that utility cryptocurrencies will do better in the long run. I mean, for me, when I read that, that is like code language to say Ethereum will do better. You know, some ICO tokenized asset platform will do better in the long run. But Bitcoin, no, Bitcoin won't do well. I'm a little suspicious about this, reading that last paragraph there. But again, I haven't read the full report. I'm just reading from Coinspectator.com. If you want to learn more about it, go to Coinspectator.com and check it out for yourself. Anyways, let's continue on. Let me see. Friday papers. Bitcoin tumbles as South Korea plans trading ban. This is citywire.co.uk. Here's one of my favorite headlines here. KFC Canada is accepting Bitcoin for fried chicken. This is coming from CoinDesk 1 hour ago. You know, I believe in the future where you can go to any restaurant, and if you can pay for Bitcoin to get fried chicken, that is the time when mass adoption is here and Bitcoin will go to infinity, almost to infinity. I love fried chicken. You know, KFC is okay. I know some other places that are much better, but you know, KFC is a good start. Here's another headline. South Korean cryptocurrency exchange laws not finalized. All right, good to know. JP Morgan chief ruse calling Bitcoin a fraud. So JP Morgan Chase, Jamie Dimon called Bitcoin a fraud. After he said that, Bitcoin started going up in value. Now he's coming up and saying, well, you know, he regrets calling Bitcoin a fraud now. Now the price is going down. I think this is a crafty way, all right, the crafty way for like the media to signal to all those people out there a secret code. It almost seems like it, that now is the time to start selling Bitcoin. I'm telling you, it just seems like it. MC cryptos plunge as South Korea plans trading ban. This is coming from news brogazette.com. That's 2 hours ago. What is your computer security Is your computer secretly mining cryptocurrencies. Okay, let me just keep on reading here. Chinese Bitcoin mining giant Bitmain establishes branch in Zug, Switzerland. Let me see. Bitcoin, Ripple, Ethereum sell-off on Korean concerns may be overblown. South Korean battle against cryptocurrencies is an uphill task. Ripple and MoneyGram signed deal to test XRP cryptocurrency for international transfers. I think this is social engineering right here. I think this is fake news. So anyways, you get the idea. I just want to read the overall sentiment. And when you read these news headlines, they kind of give you a clue into the social engineering or the message that the mainstream media wants to put out there. And it does affect people because they read it, they assimilate it, all right? They process that information, and it reflects in the market price, the price of Bitcoin. It does. It's obvious now. Anyways, let me go to CryptoPanic. Let's see what's going on over there real quick. And by the way, the links are in the notes section. You can just go ahead and look at it for yourself. And you can stay up to date on all this good, I would say almost gossip. But it's not really gossip. I mean, you know, we live in an age of information, right? The age of the internet, where getting information before someone else makes a difference between you making money and you losing money. But this is only short term. But overall, you kind of get a better idea of the sentiment of the market, because 2 months ago, these headlines were totally different. It was Bitcoin to the moon, right? Hedge funds are getting involved in Bitcoin, the CME futures, all this, I mean, all this hype. It seems like there's no way Bitcoin could ever go down in price. It was going to go to 100,000. Remember those headlines? Oh, 2 months later, now Bitcoin is going to crash down to 1,800. Go figure. All right, CryptoPanic. 9 minutes ago, I owed a technical analysis, sideways price action. 11 minutes ago, is Bitcoin's value due to social status it brings? Good question. 24 minutes ago, no cryptocurrency trading ban in South Korea, government says. This is coming from the same article, Cointelegraph. Now with CryptoPanic, it gives some other feedback. It has 14 positive, 7 important, 2 saves. I think this is telling me that there are a lot of people who are in this cryptocurrency space that really want the price of Bitcoin to go up. And, you know, we got to be careful, because living in denial, living in Egypt, that's right, living in denial, you know, could be more harmful than facing, you know, facing some realities here. So I'm just saying, be careful. Anyways, I hope Bitcoin goes to 100,000 to 1 million. Then I can, I don't know, maybe take another day off and go to Canada and have some KFC chicken with my Bitcoin, or I should say with my Satoshis, if the transaction fees aren't that high. I hope the transaction fees would be low, or maybe even Lightning Network would be adopted by Yum Brands, who owns KFC, Pizza Hut, and Taco Bell, by the way. And I could buy all my my fast food using the Lightning Network, get instant transactions. Anyways, let's continue on here. 25 minutes ago, official. Oh, I already did that. 29 minutes ago, Stellar prices up 30.20%. People are loving this. Well, with 3 positives and 1 negative. 36 minutes ago, Bitcoin price technical analysis. New triangle forming. Okay. 40 minutes ago, Ripple prices up 20.66%. 11 positives. I think there's a lot of people who bought the Ripple scam. and they're all hoping, that Ripple would continue to go up despite Coinbase not listing them. And pretty much everybody who knows what Ripple really is knows that it's a scam. And so, you know, again, more people living in Egypt in denial. That's just my opinion, though. But I hope Ripple goes to $1 million, because if Ripple has gone to $1 million, then basically Bitcoin has gone to like a quadrillion, bazillion, billion dollars. 43 minutes ago, Bitcoin Cash price technical analysis trims recent gains. Okay. Here's another. Stellar prices up 22%. That's 1 hour ago. Ripple prices up 10%. People are just putting a lot of positives on that one. 20 positives, 2 negatives, 2 important on Ripple. People really want Ripple to go up. I don't know why. Anyway, let me see if I can find something interesting. Well, no, that's pretty much it. Anyways, you can go check this out yourself, CryptoPanic. That's also in the note section. Let me continue on here real quick. All right, let's go on here. Of course, I got the usual "it's time to stop" meme. I won't go over all the hard forks. You know, I think this whole crypto dividend thing, it's getting lame. It really is. And you know, it's been going on, this whole crypto dividend thing, since Bitcoin Cash. It's I think it was novel and kind of exciting and something different for Bitcoin Cash. It was controversial, but when the split happened, and you know, the people who wanted larger blocks, and you know, whatever they wanted, I don't know what they wanted, you know, but they, whatever they wanted, they got. Okay, they got a Satoshi Nakamoto. All right, they got their own Satoshi Nakamoto, which is Craig Wright. They have I guess a charismatic leader, you know. So you got the creator, Craig Wright. You got a charismatic leader, quote unquote, which would be Roger Ver or Bitcoin Jesus. So they have the creator, they have Jesus, and they have the Holy Spirit with them as well. So they got the Holy Trinity going on over there. And you know, you think they would be happy, but now they want to, you know, they want to take the brand as well and all the users. So I find it interesting. And you know, and then after that was Bitcoin Gold. Was it Bitcoin Gold? Bitcoin, I mean, just Bitcoin Diamond, all this stuff. And the only thing I've actually received so far are my Bitcoin Cash, which I did split just a small part of, and I made a video about it. And then my Bitcoin Gold, I split from Coinami, because it was so easy to use Coinami. But all these other forks of Bitcoin that actually forked off of Bitcoin and may or may not have made a mainnet yet, I haven't figured out a way to get these coins easily enough for me to actually even bother doing it. And then now they got coins where they're just airdropping. They're not even forking, right? They're just taking a snapshot, then airdropping if you register with them, and creating what seems to be a completely new blockchain, right? They're just creating a Genesis block and creating from a snapshot. And you just have to register. Or some of them are just literally rebranding their dead coin, putting Bitcoin in front of it, and then calling it whatever it be, private, rhodium, you know, crap, toilet, you know, Bitcoin shit. So it's really getting ridiculous. So I'm not even gonna I was gonna delete them. I forgot to delete it because I just copy and paste in the note section. But it's down there for you to look at if you're interested. Next in the note section, I have SegWit charts. I have some links that may help you. All right. And hopefully it helps you understand the market much better so you can navigate through it, because I think we are coming through some rough times, some rough seas here where you're going to be going up and down. You're going to be whipsawed. You're going to be socially engineered. And some of you may also be living in Egypt, living in denial. SegWit charts, if you want to know the SegWit adoption rate. Coin Codex, Live Coin Watch, which is a listing platform. So is Coin Codex is another listing platform. CoinGecko, a listing platform. BitInfo Charts, another different listing platform, more on the fundamental side of actually the mining portion, the hashing rate and all that. Joho mempool statistics. I'll be going over the mempool, the Bitcoin fees, and then doing a chart analysis as well. Salome.io, which I think that's out of all the listing platforms, Salome.io is probably the most interesting. It measures the social media volume of a cryptocurrency along with its price. And so far, what I've seen is if there is a spike in social media volume, there's typically a spike in the price as well. Matter of fact, from what I've seen using Salome.io, you can actually gauge the next coin that's going to be pumped while it's pumping. Not necessarily before, but just a little bit after it starts pumping, or while it's starting to pump, and it actually carries some momentum through. All that social engineering that's being done on all of you, it kind of almost that momentum carries through, and eventually it does kind of take off. The coin actually kind of has a little leg, or they get legs and start, kind of pumping. And so you can take advantage of that, or you can just, be aware that this coin is just pumping and it has no fundamental value whatsoever. All right, and then I have transaction accelerator if you need it. And then I have Bitcoin Cash hash rate, historical chart, 6 months. You can compare the two forked blockchains because they compete for the same mining algorithm. All right, next in the notes section is collecting your free Bitcoin Gold coins with Coinami. If you haven't been able to use Coinami to split your coins, your Bitcoin Gold from your Bitcoin, then you should sell everything. You should just sell everything, all your cryptocurrencies, and leave, because you probably aren't going to survive the next 2 to 3 years now. That's just my opinion. But if you just need a little bit more help, I did make a video, how to split Bitcoin Gold BTG01 using your Coinami wallet. So I made a video for that just to help you out. And if you don't have an Android, all right, an Android device, Coinami does not make a wallet for Windows, Apple, or iOS. So if you find something that is Coinami for Windows or Apple, it's probably a fake wallet that's going to steal all your Bitcoins. But you can use their mnemonic code converter. It's for the recovery phrase tool. It also generates a wallet. All right, it generates mnemonic seeds. So if you input your mnemonic seed and you select Bitcoin Gold for the coins, it will generate all the addresses which you can sweep. You still need a wallet though, all right? And then have a link to Bitcoin Gold. I'd be careful about going there because it seems like every time people go there and download a wallet, they get hacked and all their Bitcoins get stolen. All right. Now, and next in the note section, I haven't seen, all right, since this cease and desist letter from Texas, and now a cease and desist letter from, where is it, North Carolina? Let me see here. From North Carolina, I haven't seen Craig Grant too much when it comes to the advertising, or his mistress Juliana. I haven't seen. Where are these people? Why haven't they made up their? Where's their ads? Where's BitConnect? Have you seen any? I don't know. Chat, please let me know. Have you been seeing BitConnect ads? Because I haven't, and I've been watching a lot of YouTubers that talk about cryptocurrencies. They seem to all of a sudden Craig Grant just his ads disappeared. Maybe they stopped paying him. Maybe he ran out of money. Maybe BitConnect is exiting, right? Because it's a scam. It's a Ponzi. The heat is on. I don't know. Chat, let me know what you think. Anyways, if you don't know what BitConnect is, or if there's still advertisements with BitConnect, you might want to read these articles before you put your life savings into a scam. Why has ICO Index labeled BitConnect as an outright fraud? A notice regarding high-yield coins on top of BitConnect. What is BitConnect and why have we decided to distance ourselves from it? And just to top it off, I interviewed 3 BitConnect users. They should all be billionaires by now, all of them. James Bond, Bitcoin Live 0017. They should all be billionaires by now, obviously. Check out the video. You decide. What do you think? Is BitConnect a scam, or is it real? Can you become a billionaire in about a year or 3 years? Why not? Anything's possible, right? All right, so last part in the notes section, I have the video theme for this video. Living Rent-Free in Slab City, part 5 of a series. I've been watching, well, I really enjoy and love driving on the open road. There's something about it. You drive, you travel, you see different things. You feel free, right? I mean, you feel like you go anywhere. There's no restrictions if you are traveling within your own country as a citizen, I guess. But there's something liberating and something that makes you feel free when you do that. And so I always have this fantasy or a dream or idea that I could travel across land, whether it be, Canada, Mexico, or with the United States, in a vehicle, mainly I'm thinking a van, because you can take it anywhere with you, and it's kind of encapsulated, and you can kind of customize a cargo van. You can build it yourself and design it yourself. I always have that fantasy, but is it realistic? I guess if you have no family and no responsibilities whatsoever, it's not too bad, because like the title says, living rent-free at Slab City, part 5 of a series. If you don't know what Slab City is, I mean, I would say if you're into anarchy, like you don't believe in the government, then go to Slab City. You could live there for free for the rest of your life without paying any rent. Just go on over there, pick a spot, and homestead. There you go. And provide electricity, provide water for yourself, do all the things you need to do. There's no one's going to stop you. There's no government, there's no police, there's no post office. I don't think there's a post office. I think you can get delivery though. Interesting video. I've heard of Slab City, but this idea of a community where there is absolutely no government. Yes, that's right. There's no government. There's nobody there who's gonna tell you what to do or what not to do. It's up to you and the community members. That place exists. It's real. So people who complain about the government or whatever, some 3-letter agency, well, there's a place right now that you can go in America. If you're in America, it's called Slab City. Just get in your car or your bicycle, or you could walk there. I mean, no one's gonna stop you. No one's gonna prevent you from pursuing, whatever you want to pursue, and you can just go there and live for free. No taxes, no rent, no convenience store, no air conditioning, no heating, no running water, no no sewage. It's all for you to decide what you want to do. It exists. It's real. So that is the video theme for this video right here. And I have a link to hashtag yes2x118. The meme you're looking at right now. I don't even have to put any words in it. The symbols alone are very powerful. The symbols in this meme right here is very, very powerful. It's so powerful, it may even get, my live stream may get demonetized. That's how powerful these symbols are that you're looking at. Let's see here. Next is a pot of gold. I have a link to the Bitcoin pot of gold and have the donational address to the Bitcoin pot of gold. Please donate. So one of you, yes, you, the audience members and people in the chat, one of you can win it all. You can win all that Bitcoin. I think it's, well, unfortunately, last time I checked, it was $150. I think it's going to be less now, less than $150. But there is the donational address right there. It is a SegWit address. It's a pay-to-script SegWit address. So I think most wallets that are using SegWit will be using this address format. All right. So let's see who's all in the live chat. Let's actually go into the live chat and see who's all there. My goodness, you guys been chatting it up. Let's go up to the top. Dual overhead camness. What's up? How you doing? 21 million. Thank you guys. You're always here. You're always first. One of the first. Always. It's amazing. I'm surprised I don't bore you to death, but you wouldn't. You probably would tell me if I do. Leisure Picker. How you doing? Don't worry, James. I made it. I'm here. Thank you. Thank you. Dave Hamilton. Good to see you as well. And Bitcoin B. How you doing? Let me see. Doesn't Trayvon live in North Carolina? No, I think Trayvon lives in South Carolina. So last time I checked, I think Trayvon was like what? Like he's black, quarter Indian, quarter Filipino, quarter Jewish, I think. He in whatever, but I think he lives in South Carolina. Let me see here. What are you guys all saying up here? Oh, goodness. So Dave Hamilton says, why tie up your money in a pyramid scheme when you can make a ton just hodling regular Bitcoin? That's a good question. That's what I've been asking, and I'm sure that's what every Bitcoiner has been asking when it comes to BitConnect, right? Think about all the money that people missed out on investing in BitConnect. And now that the price is going down, and now you can have your coins. Now your, I think your holdup period, it was like 299 days, and I think most of the people who got in early, their coins are available to them to get back. Everybody else who preceded those people, well, they're still stuck, and the price of Bitcoin's going down. And it wouldn't surprise me if by the time they get their Bitcoins back, or if they get their Bitcoins back, that the price of Bitcoin will be, it may be down dramatically to the point where they would have been better off actually owning their own Bitcoin, right? And enjoyed the tremendous gains, and maybe even realized those gains, when the price was at, $20,000. Let's see what you all are saying here. Naughty, is a Natty Dagger? Natty Danger. Natty Danger. This right here. Natty Danger. Okay. Natty Danger. Call me drama queen, but I'm here just to hear more about how James's wife doesn't even know he has Bitcoin. Well, actually, she does know I have Bitcoin. It's just that she's not interested in Bitcoin whatsoever. The only thing she cares about, like pretty much, I think all women care about, if you have a woman in your life, or a spouse or a significant other, that they're with you, but they don't care what you do, or they have no idea what you're doing, or they don't understand what you're doing. Is the only thing they care about is, are you making any money? And that's about the only thing she cares about. And all I have to do is say yes. It doesn't matter if I actually do make money or I don't. If I just say yes, she's okay with it. So go figure. Leisure Picker. Leisure Picker says, James is making us stare at the salty hoe. Come on. What's wrong with this 1940s silliness? Well, I was hoping that the meme has very powerful symbols. It has a gun. It has BitConnect. It has the U.S. Department of Justice, U.S. Marshals logo, right? It has the swastika. It has the Confederate flag. I mean, and has, if you could see it in there, it has some Bitcoin as well. It has Bitcoin in there. All very, very powerful symbols when you look at them all together. I mean, it's worrisome. It's shocking. But that's why I put them in there. When you juxtapose them, when you put them side by side and put them all together, is there a connection? Let's see who else is in here. Nadi Danger. Let's see. It says, just imagine she's reaching her hand up to let a dog pet. I don't know what you're saying there. Leisure Picker, you think I'm pushing the viewers and the trolls? Yes, I am. I will push the limits to the point where I can get away with it as much as I can, without breaking the camel's back. I don't want to break anyone's back here. No Brokeback Mountain here. So, but as much as I can get away with it, make it interesting. Let's see who else is in the live chat here. Boogers guy, welcome to the live chat. I want Popeyes. I watched the video, I would say almost 2 years ago now, and it was a YouTube video. I kind of forgot the name of the person. It was a female, but she was saying how when Bitcoin becomes available, when you can use your Bitcoin at any place to buy fried chicken, that's when Bitcoin has gone mainstream. Well, I think we're getting there. We're getting there, aren't we? KFC, Popeyes, I mean, your local mom and pops, fried chicken place. What else is there? I mean, there's a lot of fried chicken place. I love fried chicken. I like fried chicken. I like my fried chicken naked with salt and pepper. That's how I like it when I make it. Other than that, I do like hot wings. I love hot wings as well. Matter of fact, when I was in Buffalo, I was tempted. I was tempted to actually buy. Actually, what I did when I was in Buffalo, New York, I bought buffalo wings. I want to know, what does a buffalo wing taste like in Buffalo? And you know what? It tastes just the same as a hot wing in Texas. So, so going to Buffalo just to have some buffalo wings, it's don't waste your time on that. Let's see here. Anybody else in the live chat that we haven't seen here? JBlaze604, it's good to see you. It's been a while. I think I recognize your name. All right. Just going through some of your comments here. Sometimes I like to read them because you guys are very, very funny at times. Anyways, Pisces traits, good to see you. Let's see what you got to say. Will the dollar survive the rise of the yuan and the petrodollar? You know, I have a couple theories, right? And have you ever noticed the country that dominates will become the world reserve currency, will control the currency. And so right now that's the United States of America. And they came out on top from the last Great War, World War II. They came out on top and mostly unscathed from the destruction, right? And they also gave out the loans, ironically. Isn't that convenient? But sometimes they didn't even get paid back. Anyways, if you consider what it takes to end the petrodollar, well, oil, right? Oil has to no longer be of any use, which is kind of hard because oil is very useful, very, very useful. There's a lot of things that come out of oil that we use every day in our lives that we take for granted. And plastics is a major thing, all right? Synthetic materials, other chemicals come from oil. So it's hard to say when the petrodollar will end. Ultimately, the petrodollar will end when the supply of oil eventually runs out. It's harder and harder to get. And I know I said energy is not infinite. To some degree, that's true. Energy is actually renewable. It just, the petrochemical dollar or the petroleum is renewable. It only takes a couple 100 million years to turn it back into oil. You know what I'm saying? To turn all the carbon life forms that eventually die and decompose back into oil. Only a couple 100 million years. So it is renewable. Unfortunately, we'll all be dead by then. So unless there's another resource that can replace petroleum, which there might be, I don't know. Anything's possible. But in the short term, no, there's not. There's not. So the petrodollar will be around for as long as it can be, and as long as when you talk about petrodollar, you're talking about petrodollar to the U.S. petroleum, oil being priced in U.S. dollar. For oil to be priced in another currency, I think you would need another world war where the world order gets reshuffled again, whoever comes out on top, and that's how you get the change. That's just my opinion, though. I could be wrong. M. Rocky, good to see you. Pump it, pump it. I gotta dump these shit coins. By WAB. I don't even know what WAB is. Oh my goodness, you guys are really talking to yourself. Okay, DDA209, how you doing? Good to see you. Anyways, that's what's going on in the live chat. And Leisure Picker, it's not dead dinosaurs. Let me see. All this talk about chicken, he's got the munchies. Actually, that's a myth. That's not where oil comes from. It's not dead dinosaurs. Well, from what I understand, it's oil seems to come from any living organism, any carbon-based living organism, plants, microorganisms, plankton. What else? Leaves, trees, possibly dinosaurs, possibly. Eventually, if there's enough dead people in the world, I guess you could say people will become oil at some point, decomposing. And any organic material that's eventually decomposed from any carbon-based, since a lot of the Earth is covered in carbon-based life forms. You know, that's what oil is: dead living things. Whether it be a dead plant or a dead person or a dead animal or dead living organism, like, I don't know, microplankton or something. But correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I'm not a scientist in that way. I don't really study this. It's just general knowledge that I get from time to time. Anyways, let's go on to the news article here. All right, so let's go on to the meme here. It's a very powerful meme here. I got a gun. It's a loaded meme. I got the Department of Justice, United States Marshals. I got the swastika. I got the Confederate flag. I got BitConnect, and I got Bitcoin. What more do you want to know? All right, so here's the Bitcoin pot of gold. QR code on the left side. So QR code on the left side is the donational address. Please donate. If you donate, I can give away the 10th clue, because I think I already gave away the 9th clue to the 9th word of the 24-word mnemonic seed. I can give away the 10th word, or the 10th clue to the 10th word of the 24 mnemonic seed. And so please donate. And that's one way for one of you lucky person, lucky viewer, can win all this Bitcoin I have in there, which I don't know. I think it's 0.1 something of a Bitcoin. The QR code on the right here is the encrypted private key. So if you think you're good at cracking passwords, go ahead and scan that. And now keep in mind, it is a SegWit address. So you probably need a SegWit wallet to scan and sweep the keys. But go ahead and scan it. It'll ask you for a password. And if you can figure that out, you can take all the Bitcoins right now. This QR code right here at the bottom, in the middle, is a link to Yellow Fever for You, to his channel. He's the one that gave me this idea. So thank you, Yellow Fever for You. All right, the first story here, coming from Business Insider here, is how neo-Nazis and right-wing extremists profit from Bitcoin. Now, I read this story. It may be controversial, maybe not. Who knows? But if you think what Bitcoin is, and here's the thing about Bitcoin, is that it doesn't care who you are. All right, it doesn't care if you're a poor, third world country farmer who's trying to make a mere living. It doesn't care. you, you know, if you are a poor farmer from a third world country and Bitcoin's like an option for you, that's fine. You can use Bitcoin. But if you're a right-wing extremist who is basically shut off from fundraising from PayPal, from Visa, from Google, from Apple, from Samsung, all your funds, all your method of raising money is censored. Guess what? Bitcoin doesn't care. And I think in that regard, that is a very powerful use of Bitcoin. Now, whether you agree with right wing or left wings or bottom wings or top wings, um, I have no, you know, I have no no preference for one or the other. My point is that Bitcoin really does offer a way for the oppressed, and I really mean oppressed, because in some ways these extreme groups are oppressed by the incumbent system. What I would say mainstream financial systems, or I guess you could call them mainstream or moderate financial systems, who view these groups as extremist, and so far they're being censored or financially oppressed. And I think to some degree by isolating these groups, okay, left wing, right wing, terrorist organizations, whatever group, gay groups, any groups that feel isolated and disenfranchised. I mean, this may be a way for them to actually do something, because they're being pushed out. They're being forced into using cryptocurrencies. And so is it the timing? If you look at the timing, the surge in price, is there a correlation between the rise of so-called right-wing extremists? I don't know. I don't know about that. I mean, there's a lot of things that have been happening. Like if you look all over the world, Bitcoin's is being adopted in Asia, India, parts in Russia, definitely Australia, North America, even to South America when you consider Venezuela. And so if you look at those groups, if you look at where it's really taking off, I mean, some are just taking off just for speculation. But if you take a look at Venezuela, I mean, you could definitely see there's definitely an oppressed group of people out there, financially oppressed, maybe even socially oppressed. So you know, Bitcoin is a relief for some form of oppression. I think I can say that now. Go ahead and read this article. Whether you agree with neo-Nazis or right-wing extremists, the story itself is very intriguing. And I know I'm not the only one that covered this. I believe other people have covered this as well. But reading this story and just coming up with some conclusions that I made here should tell you how powerful Bitcoin can be. All right. Bitcoin is not used for buying coffee. All right. I don't use Bitcoin to buy coffee. I can if I wanted to, but I have, you know, I think I have $3.50 in my coin jar, spare change, that I can use to go buy coffee without any problems whatsoever. The most hardest part is actually just driving to Starbucks and ordering the damn coffee. And so that's not the problem. The problem is when you've been marginalized and disenfranchised and almost outcasted by, you know, a mainstream incumbent system, and the only relief that you have is a cryptocurrency. That should tell you a lot. You know, this is very eye-opening. Okay, so if you want to know what kind of people would use Bitcoin, I mean, this is an example. This is a subset of group. And if you think about any other group that is having a hard time raising money, using money, transferring money, and there could be a lot of groups out there. There could be a lot of groups. It doesn't have to be political. You know that it's criminal. Criminal groups use Bitcoin. That's a known fact. Could there be terrorist groups? Maybe. I mean, Iran, I think maybe using cryptocurrencies. North Korea, I definitely believe North Korea could be using cryptocurrencies. I don't know if they're mining. All right, cryptocurrencies are mining Monero, but any group that is financially ostracized, financially sanctioned, Russia. We know Russia is into cryptocurrencies. As much as they like to say that they're trying to ban Bitcoin and all this other nonsense, I think in secrecy or behind the facade, there are countries out there that are probably most likely, in my opinion, using Bitcoin. I mean, governments, countries using Bitcoin. So that's just the takeaway I got from reading this story. All right, that's what I inferred from reading this story. If an extreme group within the U.S. who has been basically ostracized from the financial industry are using Bitcoin, right? Imagine all the other oppressed groups out there that are using Bitcoin. And I have to admit, there may be a lot of oppressed groups out there. I mean, wherever you have a majority, all right, and there's a minority group, there's some form of oppression. That's probably the most likely case. I think that's the most likely case. Wherever you have a group of a majority, there is a minority group that is being oppressed. Now, the reason why they're probably oppressed is because the majority group is squeezing out the minority group, and that's when you get extremist. They don't have, in my opinion, when you push someone into a corner, they don't have any choice but to fight back. And when you just push them to the corner and ostracize them in that way, these people don't go away. All right, they will survive in some form or fashion. And if they find a niche in using Bitcoin, then, you know, like I said, Bitcoin does not care. It is just software. It could be used by anyone. And if there's a group of people that find a very beneficial use in using it, they're going to use it. All right. So let me go on to the next story here. All right. So North Carolina temporarily shuts down the BitConnect scheme. So I guess they got another cease and desist letter. So in this one here, I'm pretty sure that BitConnect is probably most likely not going to be surviving here soon. Most likely. That's just my opinion. And the reason that I think that BitConnect will not survive in most cases is because probably most of the money that they're getting, or most of the Bitcoin that they're getting, it's probably coming from the United States of America or in most developed nations. And I think when these developed nations start looking at BitConnect and they're realizing that this is nothing more than a Ponzi scheme, and they're offering basically unlicensed securities, they're going to be getting a letter. I mean, they're already being scrutinized in the UK. Texas is already sending them a letter now. North Carolina. It's only a matter of time before the U.S. government, the federal government in the United States of America, will be sending them a cease and desist letter. And if, in my opinion, if most of their money that they generate is coming from the U.S., once that stops, the house of cards will fall. What I've noticed is I have not seen Craig Grant's ads for BitConnect or his mistress Juliana and her ads for BitConnect. And I've been watching a lot of videos out there today, a lot of YouTubers who are in the cryptocurrency space. I haven't seen one all day today. And so perhaps maybe YouTube is probably responding to this and probably shutting off Craig Grant's ads. I don't know. You guys let me know in the chat. Have you seen any BitConnect ads out there at all? Am I missing something? Because I was seeing some a couple days ago, but now I don't see any BitConnect ads. None whatsoever. Either they run out of money or they're getting shut down. And so anybody who has BitConnect at this point in time, you probably want to most likely, definitely get out of BitConnect with your money, because they're not going to last much longer. I think they're going to exit scam anyway, because their waiting period of 299 days or whatever days, it's pretty much come to an end. And so all the people who got in early are now getting out, and the only people who are in now are the ones that got in later, and now they are, they're going to get screwed over, unfortunately. Hey, how you doing, Brian? Good to see you. And Plex ASM, good to see you as well. So anyways, it's a good read. I think as time goes on, more and more states will be sending BitConnect a letter, a cease and desist letter, and eventually, if this continues, they're going to look for people. If this continues, they're going to look for people. All they're going to do is they're going to go and get the people who are promoting it, and then the promoters are going to basically rat out their organizers, and then the organizers are going to eventually give up and rat out the founders, unless they want to go to jail or lose all the money that they have, or get their property and money and bank account seized. I bet you all these people who are involved in BitConnect, they have a bank account. All right, they have a bank account. So we all know that these people don't believe in Bitcoin, because they they're into BitConnect. Like how else can I explain it other than, if you're into this BitConnect scheme, you don't believe in Bitcoin. You don't even know what Bitcoin is good for. You have no idea what you're doing. So most likely these people have bank accounts, and then I'm just saying, if they persist, most likely their BitConnect is going to probably close down, and it's not going to be what it was. It's not going to be anything like that. And then Craig Grant is going to have to. Craig Grant is probably going to have to go back to doing bounce houses, and his mistress Juliana has to go back to doing bounce houses, and Trayvon James will have to go work as a stock boy at Michael's. He's probably looking for a job right now, and the only thing he could probably find is being a stock boy at some big box store, most likely. You know, I think BitConnect is a prime example of the stupidity in this space. I mean, MMM, OneCoin, just prime examples of stupidity. Anyways, let's go on to the next story. All right, next story. U.S. Marshals plan to auction 52 million worth of seized Bitcoin. If it's still 52 million, I don't know what it is now. The reason I bring up this story is if you were around since 2013, you know that Silk Road was basically shuttered. 30,000 Bitcoins were seized. And there were some other seizures during that whole time. When these Bitcoins were being auctioned off, the price of Bitcoin was declining from its all-time high. I just want to mention that. I think there's some correlation and maybe even some causation as well. And very interestingly enough, when there were no more Bitcoins to auction, all right, when last of all the seized coins from all over the world, I mean, there are many seizures all over the world. When there was no more coins to auction off anymore, that's when the price of Bitcoin started going up to its new all-time high of almost $20,000. So I think there is correlation and even causation. There's these coins that have been essentially not on the market, and now they're going to be available on the market. Obviously someone's going to buy them. Now, I know that the person may not dump them, but the fact that there's more supply onto the market means the person who bought these auction coins wouldn't buy them from another source. So there's an excess supply into the market that otherwise would have been locked up somewhere else. So, you have to take that into consideration. So I don't know how many seizures there have been all over the world. I know there's been a few, but as more and more of these auctions are going to occur, I do believe that it will drive the price down. It's just, and also it's a psychological effect too. Again, if you were here, I don't know if you were, if you weren't, but the fact that when I started back in 2013 and there were auctions, the price was going down. And when all the auction coins were no longer available and they were all sold, the price of Bitcoin started going up. And that's where we are in this nice little bull market that we've had, up to $20,000. So that's why I mentioned and bring this news up. All right. All right. Next story here. So, okay. I always love interesting stories. I enjoy, because I'm in the peer-to-peer market. I trade peer-to-peer, and I do carry a gun with me. I've never had to draw a gun on anybody, and I hope I never have to draw a gun on anyone or a knife. I do also carry a knife, so I hope I never have to draw a knife on anyone. So I see this in the news feed, and I just enjoy. I enjoy these stories because I think these are stories that happen in Bitcoin, and they're most likely real, very likely real, but they, a lot of people don't talk about them. Like mostly a lot of YouTubers don't talk about them because they don't trade peer-to-peer. They're just a marketing piece. At most, the most that they do is push a button on a computer trading on the exchanges. That's the limit to their exposure to trading at all using cryptocurrencies. So peer-to-peer markets is very interesting. It has a different dynamic to it. But Milwaukee Bitcoin transactions end in gunshot and a felony charge. So supposedly, Jonathan W. Royce, 28, relatively, that's of age, right? 28 is definitely an adult, but still pretty, well, I wouldn't say young, but not quite old. Was trying to sell some Bitcoins. Now, obviously, I think Jonathan W. Royce is the perpetrator, and the victims are, let me see, two people. The initials of GPK. How you doing, Huddle? Good to see you. Initials GPK, and another man by the name of Dallas. So it doesn't get into the detail of what caused the guy to draw a gun, but apparently there was an issue about how long the negotiations were being done in a transaction. Now, typically, what I do is before I even meet or try to meet or do the transaction with anybody, it's negotiated over the internet or messaging, right? Or voice, one or the other. I typically use some kind of messaging or texting because in that way, let's just get to the point. Here's the price. How much do you want to buy or how much do you want to sell? And, when do you want to do it? It's really that simple. It doesn't have to be overcomplicated. Anybody who tries to overcomplicate things or makes it more, if anybody tries to make it more than it is, there's something wrong. There's something wrong. I usually, tell people, especially if they're first-time buyers, they come to me and they got a million questions. I just tell them to come back tomorrow. Right? I just say, I'm busy right now. Just come back tomorrow. And I would say 99.99% of the time, those people never come back. And that's just a way for me to filter out all the jokers and all the people. Sometimes they're other people who trade and they just want to know what you're doing. And the best thing to do when you trade is not to let other people know how you operate your trades. Although I'm telling you, but anyways, the most of you don't even trade peer-to-peer anyway. So anyways, apparently there was some kind of delay or altercation during the transaction. I don't know what it was. It doesn't say here. But eventually a gun was pulled out. Jonathan Royce pulled out a gun. It was I don't know what kind of gun it was, but it was a 32 caliber handgun. Doesn't say if it was a pistol. Calibers, I think you can use, I think it's a pistol and a revolver. But anyways, it was discharged. There was a round that was discharged. And so, I don't know what the altercation was, but when you do peer-to-peer trading, yeah, you can get into weird situations like this. There's no doubt. Anyways, there it is for you. You can read it. You can find it amusing. I love hearing stories like this. Anything with Bitcoins and guns, I enjoy reading. Sometimes you can't make this stuff up. It's more like fiction is stranger. No, real life is more stranger than fiction. The truth is stranger than fiction is what I'm trying to say. So Anyways, what is next here? Oh, there we go. Anyways, enjoy the controversial meme. No text, a lot of symbols, a lot of symbols. Uh, very powerful symbols in this meme here. So anyways, let's see what you all are saying. So Brian, how you doing, Brian? You said fuck neo-Nazis. Remember when Roy Enos was choking the shit out of a neo-Nazi on the Geraldo show? Geraldo got his nose broken. Yes, I remember that. Let me see here. What else is saying? I am not seeing them. Let me see there. Plex ASM says, if I was one of the creators of BitConnect, I would be living in a tiny village in China, laying low. Oh goodness. You know, it's hard. It's like, you know, if you're into cryptocurrencies, you can, I guess, somewhat synonymously be rich and yet live like a bum. I mean, you could be a hobo or just a regular person and virtually, I don't know, and I say virtually because we're talking about virtual currencies, be a millionaire, and no one would be the wiser. Only you would know. And sometimes that secret is hard to keep, right? I mean, and sometimes that secret is hard to keep a secret because, you know, it's a catch-21 sometimes. Like, here you are, very wealthy with virtual currency, virtually, but yet you're living from hand to mouth day to day because you can't spend all your virtual currency, or you can't really flaunt your virtual currency. Then like, it's kind of known that all of a sudden you're very wealthy and where you're getting the money. And then if you're in the US, I mean, the IRS would be like, well, how did you pay for that car? Like, how'd you pay for that Lambo? Right? You have like virtual currencies you haven't been reporting. Like, you know, you pose, like, you have a $200,000 Lambo or whatever, is a $500,000 Lambo, but you make $16,000 a year. How does that work out? You know, so you know, you got to be smart sometimes. You know, it's weird. Like, you can be virtually rich, but physical reality, you're practically poor. All right. Anyways, let's go on to the mempool now. Let me close out some of these. I think I'm supposed to do the OCFX. Here it is. I think this is, nope, that's not it. I think this is my OCFX. All right, there we go. Let's have a look at the days. And let's move this over here. I'll make this the coin market cap. All right. All right, let's have a look. None of these coins have made a new all-time high. It's been a day, almost at least a day for 3 of these coins. So this is the bond trading view here, bond trading view. This view created by James Bond, list of top 55 coins here. This is in the note section, maybe or maybe not. I'm not quite entirely sure. But anyways, let's just go over these here. I'll go over the top, at least the top 5. Looks like there hasn't been much change. Nothing's made an all-time high. So let's have a look at the first one, Pivx. Pivx. Those are ordered. Now, there's a couple things you could either short them to get more Bitcoin, or you can try to buy them, which I think is stupid, but that's all right. I think it's what you think. Hello, DJ Calv. How you doing? Welcome to the live chat here. So there's a look at Pivx, and it looks like it's peaking out. It looks like it's peaking out. If you can see right here. And I think most of these cryptocurrencies are going to start peaking out. I think everyone's going to be cashing out, most likely, ironically, probably into Tether, or they're trying to buy their Bitcoins or their Ethereum or Litecoins. And if they have a Coinbase account, they'll try to cash out to Coinbase. But I have a feeling that if too many people cash out, they're probably going to get their transactions rejected by Coinbase. And if it doesn't get rejected by Coinbase, it's most likely going to be rejected by the bank that you're receiving the money from. That seems to be happening quite a bit. All right, what's next here? Augur. This is new. REP, Augur. Oh, Augur. Let's have a look. REP. Augur. Augur has been around for a long, long time. It was one of the first ICO tokens on the Ethereum network. And if you look at this, this is a losing proposition. A very, very bad losing proposition. So Augur is the only way you could have made money is if you actually bought when it first came out and then sold it. That's probably the only way you could have really made any Bitcoin. At this point in time, there's so much regulation pressure for these ICO tokens. The exchanges are under pressure to become under regulation. They have a couple choices. The choice is to comply with regulation or drop these tokenized assets, these ICO tokens. Some of them might start dropping. I really doubt it though, because their business model is based on you trading trading your coins, and they make a fee off of your stupidity. That's all they do. So most likely they will comply with regulations, which means they will now either get more information from you, hence more information from you will lead to more surveillance and more oversight, which usually means IRS will now have a record of your transactions. And if you have not been doing anything as far as reporting, well, you're probably going to get an adjustment on your tax return, most likely, or get an audit. Probably like an audit, most likely. Let's have another look here. ARC. We'll look at ARC again. Ethereum and Neo. Okay, so ARC, Ethereum, and Neo. So ARC is starting to peak out. You can see right here, it's starting to peak out. And I don't know if it'll continue. There's just a lot of there's just a lot of negative sentiment right now with the cryptocurrency space. There's just a lot of negative sentiment. And so if anything, they may have peaked out in US dollar value, but as far as Bitcoin value, I think this is I really think that altcoins cannot really it's hard for me to believe that altcoins are going to outcompete Bitcoin in a bear market. I think they're all going to go down, just like Bitcoin eventually. They're all going to take a hit. How you doing, Khalid Kuledeb? Sorry if I butchered your name. Ton? Is there a token called Ton? T-O-N? No, it's Tron, but I don't see any Ton. I think ARC. What was the other one? ARC, Ethereum, and Neo. Okay, so ARC, Ethereum. Let's take a look at Ethereum. All right, we'll take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum looks like it's stalling. It's stalling right above the 0.08 Bitcoin. And again, it could go up in US dollar value quite a bit. But as far as Bitcoin value, it hasn't made its all-time high. Matter of fact, I think this is just a dead cat bounce as far as Bitcoin value. And once it has its bounce, I think it'll continue on its trend downwards. You know, it's always it obviously, from looking at this chart, it looks like it's a dead cat bounce. I think it's a dead cat bounce. From just, if I just look at this and I see the big drive up, and then after it goes up so high, like right here at this point, it just goes up so high, right here, it's up so high, and then it just basically goes back and even dips below where it broke out of right here at this point. And now it just dips below, and then it just has a dead cat bounce, and most likely will continue its trend downwards. Because, you know, like this stuff, a reversal, you know, when you see these trends, they don't just like all of a sudden just go up, and then all of a sudden just reverse and then continue to like go up. There seems to be some kind of gradual fundamental reason why they trend upwards or they're trending downwards, and I don't see any fundamental reason, no rhyme whatsoever, that Ethereum should be going up in price. None whatsoever. You know, their network is, I don't know. I just never saw any good use of Ethereum. I know it's not being used outside of the exchanges. Most of it's just speculation. A lot of it's just social engineering. So when you run out of, I don't know, uh, novelty, uh, what's left? I mean, what extraordinary claim can Ethereum and the people who use Ethereum, what other extraordinary claim can they make after this point? You know, I guess what they can do after this point is become a casino. After, I mean, that's the only thing I think Ethereum can do now is just become a casino where you get market participants come into this game, play the game, and that's all they're doing. They're just playing off each other. So essentially all you're doing is you're playing against each other in a zero-sum game, and the only way that you can, or the majority of people who are already in the game can profit, is for new people to come into the game and bring their money into it. And so that's about it. And unfortunately, when your token is nothing more than a speculation on the exchanges, you're going to be playing a zero-sum game. And eventually, when it comes time for these people who want to use their Ethereum, and they're not using it to make CryptoKitties, they're not using it to tokenize assets anymore, they're going to use it so they can cash out. Well, that's where you get the depreciation in price. That's where you get the deflation. So right now, I think it's inflated as far as US dollar value. As you can see here in Bitcoin value, it is not being, it's been deflating, and it's just short-term inflating. But I think that's a short term. I think that's just the dead cat bounce. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. Let me see what else here. What else was it? Neo. So Neo, I mean, as far as US dollar value, Neo's been going up like crazy, like super high. But as far as Bitcoin value, I mean, it's wow, it's actually getting up there. It's getting up there. But again, Neo's another one where, to Ethereum and Neo have the same characteristics. They don't do anything, and essentially the only thing they can offer is, you know, eventually they're going to become a casino in which the only way the price can be driven up is if you bring more people to this game, bring more participants to put money into this, and that's it. That's all they have at this point. I haven't seen anything. I mean, remember, Neo was Ant Shares, and Ant Shares has been around for some time, and so they pivoted. This is just a rebranding of an pretty much an old dead altcoin that's just been rebranded to fit the marketing needs. And right now, it's making more Bitcoins. Right now, it's making more Bitcoins, but I just don't see the long-term viability. I don't see it. I don't see it. At this point, it's just a casino. At this point, I haven't seen anything come out of Neo that's tangible in any way, shape, or form. David Hamilton, you are so funny. David Hamilton says, when there's no more room in hell, the altcoin shills will walk the earth. I guess they have to go somewhere, right? Oh goodness. But right now, I mean, you're making some good Bitcoin. You're making some all-time highs. I just don't see how useful that is unless you eventually dump your neos. Um, anyways, good luck to anybody who has neo. Anyways, that concludes my wrap up on the bond trading view. And this is the list here if you want to take a look of coins to short. Let me see, days since all-time high. Well, I have this set up as days. I think, let me see here. Is it this one? I think it's this one. I should have a percentage of all-time high as well. I think this must be it. Yeah, here we go. Sorry about that. Let me see here. All right. Actually, it gave me a different list. The only difference was EOS and just a different order. But there you go. There's a list right now. So it's I didn't have this part right here. So anyways, let's go to Joho's mempool statistics. Now let me see here. Ouch! There's a recent spike here for some reason at around 300 satoshis per byte. I guess people can't wait that long. I don't know what's going on. Maybe the price is starting to move. That might be a reason. But it looks like if you're at 300 satoshis per byte, you'll probably get your transactions in the mempool. Looks like a lot of people are not overpaying, because you can see the 2,000 and the 14,000, 1,700 transactions. They're not there. Most of them are going in the 300 satoshis per byte to 200 to 140, and also a little bit in the hundreds. If you have 100 satoshis per byte, you might be waiting for a long time. But it is eventually getting eaten up, and so it looks like someone is putting a lot of transactions in the 100 satoshi per byte range. Don't know why, but anyways, eventually over time that will get. If you look at the mempool size in megabytes, you see 100 satoshi per byte is like the large. It's very large. So it looks like spam. I mean, it just looks like spam. Anyways, let's go to Bitcoin fees. So DD8209, you say as soon as the 500 Satoshi per byte transaction almost clear, the spam restarts, says bad Bitcoin org on Twitter. Yeah, it seems like that. I mean, there's something that's just building up that mempool all the time. Now, if they put the fee in it, then they put the fee in it. It's just the question is like, why? I've never seen it like this. I've never seen it like this. It almost seems like there's someone intentionally, putting transactions into the mempool to backlog the transactions. Seems like it, but oh well. is it, I wonder if it's affecting the Bitcoin price. I don't know if it's affecting the Bitcoin price, because it was like this, like pretty much ever since SegWit 2x got canceled, and the price went all the way up to 20,000, even with the high fees. I mean, they were even ridiculous. They were in the 1,000 satoshis per byte range, and the price of Bitcoin continued. So I don't know if fees are directly correlated with the price of Bitcoin. All I know is somebody's just going out of the way and making sure that the transactions, the transaction and the mempool stay high. That's all I can say. Whether it's causing fees to go up, I mean, it seems like there is some reason for the fees to go up, but eventually, I mean, the way Bitcoin's kind of being used right now, the way I use Bitcoin is to trade. I haven't even bought anything with my Bitcoin. So, but technically I have. Once I trade, I guess you can use the cash to buy things. So, but have I used my Bitcoin per se, like Bitcoin itself? No, I don't buy pizzas. I don't buy gift cards anymore. Matter of fact, when I first started, I would, but that was a mistake, because now that pizza that I bought on Bitcoin Pizza Day, now that pizza is worth a couple $1,000s. That was like the stupidest thing I've ever done. So spending your Bitcoin sometimes doesn't make sense unless you're in a downtrending market. Now, if you're on a downtrending market, spending your Bitcoin is pretty darn smart. You pretty much offloaded your liability, but spending your Bitcoin on an uptrending market, it sucks. Eventually, you'll regret it. I know that much. So let me see. Where should you be? It seems like 130 to 140 seems to be all right if you can be patient enough. It should work. And then anything after that, I think it'll work. Let's see what Bitcoin fee says. 180 satoshis per byte. That's a little excessive. Could you be around 300 and plus? Yeah, you could be around 300 plus. I mean, if you look at it, of course, this is all lagging. But if you just look at it, it's really starts breaking above 140. After that, it just starts really clearing up. Plex ASM, you say no one is dumb enough to put in transactions at 1 Satoshi per byte. Every wallet would warn you that the fee is too low. It's spam. If there's a wallet that would allow you to do a very low transaction, it probably would not even do the transaction. And another thing is some of the Bitcoin senders won't even allow you to do that low. So you have to kind of play around with it until you get to a certain Satoshis per byte where it will at least show up unconfirmed through a block explorer. But you're right, Plex ASM. There's a certain amount in which you have to do in order to even show up on the blockchain. It doesn't. If the mempool is so full, it causes. I think it causes the nodes or the miners not to recognize your transactions. Matter of fact, if we go to Joho's mempool statistics, you can even tell that. I think that's another reason why you're seeing a lot of transactions at 100 is because it won't allow any transactions below 100 satoshis per byte. It may not show up that way by design. I mean, it's basically to get whoever's spamming the network to burn a lot of money to spam the network, and that way, if they're trying to burn, if they're spamming the network, and they have to pay 100 satoshis per byte for their fee, it'll show up like this, but they won't be able to do anything, especially if they're a miner and they're receiving their own, if they're doing their own blocks and they're spamming the network and they're receiving their own fees. It may tie up their fee until like it can get, at a reasonable level eaten down. What is what I'm thinking? Maybe I'm not sure, but I'm just thinking out loud. So okay, so let's go to trade block. Let's take a look at trade block. Okay, so it shows 20,000, 22,000 transactions in the mempool. You can see the transaction fees here. Looks like 500, 219, 510, 510, 500, 500, 500, 560, 500, 350. So it's definitely over 200 satoshis per byte is what people are paying in fees. Definitely over 200 satoshis per byte. I haven't seen anything at 100, 140. I actually saw a 30 satoshis per byte here. So yeah, it's getting up there. It's getting up there. But obviously, the transaction count here, if there's that many transactions, then somebody's willing to pay for it. So as long as the market can bear, all right, as long as the market can bear these transactions and the fees for it, then it will continue. That's all I can say. As long as people are willing to pay these fees, the fee market will continue. All right, now let's go to a Bitcoin chart analysis. Are we up in price? Looks like we're up in price. So we're getting a nice little, I think is a dead cat bounce, but who knows? All right, very interesting. Let's take a look at what's going on here. I'm just drawing some lines. I mean, I'm not, let's see if it actually makes a little channel here. Yeah, it looks like that makes a little channel. Somewhat, kind of somewhat makes a channel. Anyways, let's draw another line. I just draw lines. That's all I do. Okay, looks like it's kind of breaking the short term here. Lately, if you look at it, it's these averages are really acting as resistance. There might be a chance that it can break up to 14,200, but it's just been so bearish for some time now. Let me pull out to a 12-hour. Let's see if it actually does anything. Yeah, it's just so much. You see this red, a lot of red candlesticks. So I think it's safe to say we're not in a bull market. We're in some kind of very extended consolidation sideways movement. Um, or you could, I don't know if we're in a triangle at all. Let's have a look at this triangle theory. Are we in a triangle? I don't know if we're in a triangle. I mean, we're at the border. We're at the bottom of this trend line right here. It looks like, and if it holds, then that's great. I don't mind it holding, but it just seems like a very, very long, extended sideways movement. And on top of that, I'm on the 12-hour on Bitstamp, and you can see that the spot price is below the two moving averages, which you don't kind of, you know, if you look at what it has been doing, is that it's kind of been, staying above the two averages most of the time, and that's kind of what you like to see. That's what you love to see, because that means there's a lot of upward momentum. But with the spot price being below the two moving average, it just it's just something you don't want to see. You want the price to go up if you have Bitcoins. You don't. The only time you want the price to go up is if you have cash and you're waiting to buy in to get more Bitcoins, which I think there could also be a lot of people doing that as well. All right, let's have a look at the 1-day lines. And actually, let me just put in the support. Let's see where it lines up. Yeah, it's right at that support area. It's struggling. It's really, really struggling. On the 12-hour, it's showing a crossover here. Not mean anything. I mean, the last time it crossed over right here as well. But it just came back up, but it didn't make an all-time high. It fell short of the all-time high. We'll see what happens with this. It could be oversold right now. I like to see what happens if it can make a higher high than this high right here. We might have a chance. We might have a chance for a rebound. We're at $13,687. But I'm a little cautious. I still own Bitcoins. I still have Bitcoins. I'm just very, very cautious at this point. It's when you see so much upward momentum, you're looking at a price of 2,972 here at the low, with a high of 19,666. When you see the momentum stop and just have it go sideways, that's very, very very, very early indication of a reversal. But again, you have to wait for a confirmation, and we could be waiting for a while. That's the killer part. So anyways, let me go and look at the 3-day real quick. Let's have a look at the 3-day. And the 3-day does not look good. Okay, the 3-day is not looking good. The short-term moving average is acting as a resistance here for this candlestick, and the price is below the short-term moving average. And so a support level at $668. It may hit that point. So shorter terms, they look like they're reached the bottom. That you got to be really careful, because short-term time frames, it looks like you reached the bottom and pulling out. It starts showing that no, we haven't reached the bottom. We may be just beginning to go, and we may be just starting to find a support, or we're still looking for a support area. And 1 week, at least the price has gone high enough just to hit above this moving average. Earlier today, it was below. Let's see where it finishes. If it can finish, it's still a red candle. That's the only problem. When you have a red candle that finishes this close to the moving average, with the wick on the bottom, it usually indicates the price wanting to go down more. Just like when in a bull market, you see the wicks on the candle here, the wicks are on top, is an indication that the price should be wanting to go up higher, which it has been doing. When the wicks started showing up on the bottom, I get kind of cautious. We'll have to see. We have like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 more days to complete this candlestick, and we'll see where the rest of the candlestick goes. Well, another week, maybe another 2 weeks, we can really get a definitive answer in which way the direction of this prices, the trend is going to move. But if you look at it, I mean, it looks right now like it's starting to, crest over 1, 2 to 3 weeks. I think we'll get a really definitive answer in which way this trend is going to go. But you're really looking at an early symptom of a price declining. It just looks that way, but I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong, because I really want the price to go up. I still have some Bitcoins, and I don't mind selling it at a higher price. If I sell at a lower price, that means I have to give up more of my Bitcoins, which eventually means, ironically, I would have to go and buy some more Bitcoins too. Anyways, that's the weekly. Anyways, that's all I have here. Let's close this out, and let me go to the chat real quick. See what you all are saying. Well, actually, it's probably the end of the live stream. Let's end it off with this. If you are offended by this, that's all right. It's okay to be offended. These are very powerful symbols here. Very powerful symbols. And if you feel any emotion from looking at this, or watching this, or seeing this, then you should. I mean, you should. You should. There's a lot of things that are going on in the real world. There's a reason why Bitcoin is feared. There's people who fear the use of Bitcoin. The FBI came out and was fearful for the use of cryptography. There are nation states that want to ban Bitcoin, because Bitcoin doesn't care who you are. It will not discriminate, and the miners will not care either. They will process your transactions, however long it takes. Even though the mempool is full, if you add the fee, it will get added into the block. And so, these are powerful symbols. Very powerful. Do not take this for granted. Do not take these symbols lightly. They are very strong in the human psyche, especially in the cryptocurrency space, I think, as well as in what I would say North America, more specific, America, the United States of America. Very powerful symbols, people. Symbolism is very strong. We use it in our everyday lives. It has meaning, even though the symbol itself doesn't do anything, but the psychology of what it represents the power of belief. Very, very strong. Don't underestimate it. A belief system does empower an individual. If you combine it into a group and you have a belief system for a group, it will empower that group. And if you can get enough people into this group, it can be very powerful. Very, very, very. I think if you do it correctly in a way, there's two things you can do. And again, Bitcoin doesn't care either way. You can create a movement to make a positive difference. And for some people, they believe whatever they're doing is a positive difference. But you can also use it in a, I guess, what you think is a positive difference, but can be very harmful. So be careful in your beliefs, is what I'm saying. And also be aware of the different belief systems out there. Anyways, I'm going to end this show. I'd like to thank everybody in the live chat. Brian, thanks for being in the live chat. Plex ASM, DD8209, Dave Hamilton, Khalid Kulab, DJ Calv, Pisces Traits 373, Blockchain, M. Rocky, Huddle. Let me see, DD8209, I think I said that already. Let's see who else is here. Leisure Picker, I guess he couldn't stand it here anymore. Natty Danger. And let's see who else was here. I think I said M. Rocky 21 Million Club. David Hamilton, I think that's about it. That's all I can get to. I guess there was enough in the chat. Anyways, thanks for watching. Feel free to like, dislike, leave a comment, or even do a video response. Until next time, stay tuned. Bye.